Welcome to the show.
Mic check, mic check, mic check. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Infusion Breakdown Show. We got Brian Carey. We got Desmond Tillman. I'm Joshua Freeman. How you guys doing today?
Wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. You good?
Yeah, it's Sunday. You get in the gym today?
Yeah, I did a little bit earlier. But it's a light day for Sundays to me. I tried to have a rest day, but...
Not a leg day?
Every day's a leg day, right?
Yeah.
You say, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
What'd you say?
So you a damn liar.
Okay. We have a good discussion for you guys today, though. We're going to be talking about...
we always?
Of course we do. Yeah, true. But we're talking about the death penalty today. The question: is the death penalty justifiable or not, since it violates human rights? Remember, comment below, let us know, okay? We do want to hear what you guys have to say, okay? Don't forget about the timestamps in the description below. Go down there and see what you want to watch. I'm going to say, no, it's not justifiable, Bill, because it violates human rights. I don't think it's really the government or anybody's position to say another person should be put to death because of what they did. So I don't really think that's really anybody's call, to be honest with you. And I'm not even religious, so that's just how I feel.
Religion know how to do it, though.
Yeah. No, well, not with religion, but if you think of God as this almighty and then you believe in the Bible, which has, do you to as to others who you have, you know the quote. I mean, does the death penalty deter crime?
Nah.
You feel it deters
What
crime?
does deter crime, though?
What does?
The severity of the punishment. So this is a non sequitur, but the severity of crime doesn't deter crime. The severity of the punishment. The likelihood that you're going to get caught does. So what's the alternative to that?
The likelihood you're going to get caught does?
Yeah. If you knew for 100% chance that you were going to get caught and that you would be punished, you wouldn't do it.
Okay.
But if you knew there was a severe punishment with a 50% chance of you getting away, you still might try it.
Depending on what it is, I guess.
Statistically proven.
Depending on what it is, I guess.
Yeah, statistically proven.
Okay. But okay. And plus, what do you guys think of it as being more of a racist procedure, as more black people are executed than white people?
No, it's not.
Let me ask you this then.
Hold on. Before you say that, I actually looked at the number. I don't mean to cut you off or anything like that.
He meant it.
But so, the number of people that were executed since 1976, I believe... Let me look back at the number.
43% of total executions since 1976, and 55% are currently awaiting trial.
I didn't look at did see the waiting one, but I looked at the actual executions.
I mean, that's the thing though, like, if you're going to pull the stat, then you kind of got to take in, like, the per capita aspect of it. Because, I mean, it's known that there's far more white people in jail and far more white people die at the hands of police, but it's like on a per capita thing. Like, there's millions and millions of more white people than there are black people. So, of course, there's going to be more executions of white people because there's more of them to execute.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
So what were you about to...
I was about to say.
So, no, they're looking at the percentage of people who are executed, not out of the total population. Since 1976, 55.8% of the people who were executed were white. And then after that, 34.1% were black. And then Hispanic is 8.5% and 1.6% is the other.
Yeah, but that's just how, like, executions, though.
But isn't that what he said, though? He said how many people, he said the majority of them had been executed were black. That's what I was contesting.
Rephrase that then.
No, he's right. But first of all, you said 1976.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's executions that was actually documented. We're not talking about actual other less executions like lynching.
I said from 1976.
Yeah. But I'm talking about before then, though. There's still, I'm pretty sure there's more black people that was executed. You said how what?
Define executed. Like, given what context? Are you talking including lynching and things like that?
Lynching, death, anything that ends in death, basically, because of what they have been accused of doing. That's what I'm talking about, which would be lynching or the death penalty.
So in relation to our current discussion, I constrained it. I didn't include those things. I constrained it to the process of taking an individual to court and issuing them a death penalty, not just stringing somebody up to a magnolia tree.
To a magnolia tree.
I'm serious. Like, we can't... The only way we can really have this discussion is to constrain it in some manner. Because we can go back to Hammurabi's code, an eye for an eye if we want to. But it's just too far extensive.
Okay, so but you're just looking at just the death penalty.
Yeah, the formal death penalty. That's what we're talking about, right?
Okay, yeah, we can look at just that. But I was talking about lynchings too.
So you want to include that as part of your...
I did include it.
Okay.
I did include it. You said you didn't want to include it. But what was you going to say?
I was going to say, and today is, just to give you guys like a precursor, today is October 27th. So as you know, if you've been like watching the news or have notifications, the U.S. military just killed, Asar al-Baghdadi or something like that?
Yeah.
The ISIS
leader.
Caliphate, the leader, whatever it is. So my thing is like, is that not execution at the same time? I mean, you're going over and you're seeking out with the intentions to kill based off of crimes that, they've committed. Is that justifiable?
It depends on what crimes they actually did, though.
Nigga, we talking about ISIS.
Yeah, it's justifiable.
Okay, it's justifiable.
Yeah, it's justifiable.
That's a government-sponsored execution.
Well, due to the military, though.
It's the government-sponsored.
That's just the vehicle. It's on the same
It's the
level if you want
means.
to compare it to. It's like lethal injection. They chose military. You think they're going to get that guy restrained on a gurney and... No.
What he essentially said was the military was the vehicle to the destination.
Yeah.
Whereas when we're in the prison system, the lethal injection, needle, poison, whatever it is their vehicle to the destination, right?
Yes.
So you're saying that government-sponsored...
We were talking about in relation to human rights, though.
There's no-
Those leaders. The leader that you were talking about is not American, so
It doesn't matter. We're talking about human rights.
He's a human, right?
Yeah, human, but
He's under the jurisdiction of
Human
human
rights are not... They should... I'm going to say should not be contingent based on nationality.
Mm-hmm.
They aren't.
Because if we're talking about nationality, that's like a man-made concept, just like human rights technically is. So to say that something violates human rights and then to throw like a but defeats everything you're about to say after that and everything you said before that.
Yeah. The United Nations, they actually have the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So that applies to everyone that's human, obviously. And so one of the conditions was of life, liberty, and security of person. So those people of foreign nationalities, they're at least extended the UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Are you trying to say that the death penalty for somebody who is considered a domestic... I mean, we could use Dylan Roof, for example. If he receives the death penalty, is that not justifiable?
Dylan Roof,
When he shot up the church.
Shot up the church in South Carolina.
Did he already receive the death penalty already?
I don't know if he's already received it, but I'm just saying if he does, and if and when he does get executed, is that justifiable?
No.
According to you, right?
Say it one time.
According to you.
According to his human rights, yes. Yeah, according to me, yes. I don't think it's justifiable. I don't think you should kill him, no.
So what do you propose we do? Oh, just let him sit in jail.
There's definitely torturous things you can do in jail.
Torture is illegal.
Listen. What is it? Solitary confinement.
Right.
That is a form of torture. You
It
can
is.
do that. I'm talking something like that. I'm not talking about waterboarding in jail.
So you're saying that the death penalty is wrong, so we're going to do something else that's also wrong.
You're not killing him, though. I'm talking about if you really want him to... What's the point of the death penalty? It's not deterring crime. So...
Put him in jail. Not gonna deter crime.
And if you kill him, you really let him off the hook, aren't you? Are you not?
No.
Well, you say that because a lot of people believe there's whatever. Okay, but I feel you are let him off the hook.
To your point of solitary confinement, McGill University did a study in the 1950s, which they tried to run an experiment for solitary confinement for 6 weeks, and I don't think that they made it past 1 week. Most of the subjects had already dropped out like in days. And so during the course of that experiment, they were already experiencing hallucinations and things. So that's also unethical if you want to see someone in confined space for an extended period of time.
And I'm gonna tell you why that doesn't even make sense. What I have understood the prison system to be, and I'm gonna always be the one that tries to look at what its intention is to be. It's to rehabilitate. How are you rehabilitating someone by violating their human rights, regardless of what they've done?
I'm gonna ask you about the death penalty. How are you doing that?
I should be asking you how, because you're saying it. So you're saying that the death penalty ordered by the military on a foreign individual who is a terrorist is justifiable.
I thought we was talking about Dylan.
No, we are, but I'm about to.
Sorry.
What?
No, just so silly. I spit my tea out. He's a domestic terrorist.
Okay.
So, whatever his name is, al-Baghdadi, if that's the one, he's ordered the killing. He probably hasn't killed anyone. He probably doesn't have any blood on his hands. But Dylan Roof has blood of innocent individuals who everything he did was premeditated. Okay. That means that's indoctrinating who he is as a person. Just like his al-Baghdadi's Islamic terrorist beliefs are indoctrinated into who he is as a person. Okay. So they both have ill will towards anyone who believes in opposite of what they believe in or looks opposite of what they are. But killing one because he's not a nation of state is justifiable, but killing another one because he is of our nation state is not justifiable.
You're talking about the leader, right? I'm saying don't kill him. That's what I said.
I understand what you're saying.
No, so when I asked the original question, it was is the killing of Ashar al-Baghdadi justifiable?
Yeah, then I went back on it.
You didn't. Did you ever hear him go back on it?
I did. I definitely did say that. I said that at least twice.
He said he went back on his. Yeah, he did.
Okay.
I was about to say
was that between? No, I didn't.
No, I said it to you.
Okay, so it's not justifiable.
No, I would say it's not justifiable.
Okay,
yeah,
that's all I wanted to hear. No, the thing that I find, or the qualm that I have with your argument, I guess, is that there's an assumption that people suffer in prison. When I don't think that that's the case at all. Like, yeah, they miss out on something, but I feel like with anything, if we were to pack up right now and go move into a new state, we're going to adapt to what that new state has to offer in the life of that new state, and whatever it is, opportunities are there. I feel the same like when somebody goes to prison, they adapt to what that prison system is. It's not necessarily suffering because some of them learn, as we know, religious beliefs or, new theories, new ideologies when they're in prison. So I mean, to think that someone deserves to just rot in prison because the death penalty is unjustifiable, then I think you're also ignoring the fact that when they go into prison, it's their chance at a second life. And I'm trying to figure out. And
do they not deserve a second life?
What I'm saying is, I do think that it's wrong, but then I also think at the same time that it's contradictory as well, because you rob someone of a chance to experience the full, and not even just one person. You rob multiple people
because they murder people. Yeah.
Exactly. You've robbed multiple people of the chance to live their life fruitfully, and now you get a second chance. That's where some people will have the issue with.
Can people change?
What did I say?
You say yes.
I said yes.
Okay. So can they not change because of those ideologies and religious beliefs?
We're comparing apples to oranges.
Okay, but that's what you said. You was talking about ideologies.
But there's always a contingent. Everything is tentative. Everything has a contingency plan with it.
Okay.
Some people can, and this will go into one of our later discussion. People can cheat, and then ultimately change who they are to become a better person. Once you kill somebody, that means that you've gone to an extreme to where you have become the almighty God, to where you made the decision that this person no longer deserves to live. Therefore, you've taken the highest form of power that there is and decide to, slam your gavel down and then kill 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people.
Permanent solution.
You think that's what Dylan Roof had in his head? Like he wanted that he didn't think that's what he was.
It's regardless if that's how he viewed it. That's what it is.
You can't say he didn't mean it and bring the people back.
Like, at the end of the day, like, you had a means to kill. You knew you had a means to kill. You know what comes as a result of killing. And you still proceed with all the actions necessary to do it. That means you've had multiple, and we're talking how old is he? He was, what, 18, 19?
Yeah, around there.
You've had years and years of experience as far as knowledge of guns. We've all had years and years of experience of knowledge.
But isn't it proven that your brain isn't fully developed until you like 20?
I'm going to agree with that, but I'm also going to denounce it on BS as far as when it comes to guns, because we've grown up in a society that has put guns at the forefront, whether it be through video games or through policy or whatever it may be. We've known the extent of the extreme of gun violence and what guns can do long before we could understand anything as far as trigonometry, algebra, or whatever we want to do it.
If it's put in like video games and television, though, that doesn't necessarily mean a person is educated or what they can do. That just means they're just formally normal, and they're like, oh, maybe I can use it too, something like that.
As a question for you, so if we look at it as a stupid adolescent mistake, how many people do that, like accidentally, or decide to have a bad day and go shoot someone and kill them?
I wasn't
as opposed to it kind of seems like it. And so
I was just challenging him. That's what I was doing.
The challenge was defeated when you stated it, in my opinion. That's just on those grounds.
Your opinion, yeah.
On those grounds. By you saying that, it was just a childish mistake. That's what it seems like. So him deciding.
No, I didn't even say that. Why you quoting me? Why you just quoting me?
That's what it seems like.
Oh, it's such a childish mistake. No, I'm not saying that. What are you doing? Okay. But what would you say?
Because you were talking about the prefrontal cortex not developing. So people do silly stuff like drive when they're drunk or smoke weed.
That's not a childish mistake. Driving drunk is a childish mistake.
People do it. It's more common for someone to do that in their adolescence than it is for them to go shoot someone. That's my point.
And I'll almost say that we have more experience as to what guns can do than we do what alcohol can do. Because alcohol is praised as something that is having a good time. So, not to like incriminate myself, but, I started drinking way before I was 21. So I would go out and I would drink, but I knew I had a curfew and I knew I still had to be home. So I'm still going to get behind the wheel to get home, or it's either that I'm not going to come home and then I'm going to get in trouble for drinking underage, and then I'm going to get in trouble for violating my curfew.
Okay, one key thing we are missing is mental illness too in all of this. But
I'm sorry, are you Desmond or am I?
What are you talking about? You are Desmond, of course. Mr. Tillman. But our original point was if he could change. And I said yes, but you said he robbed all of those people of that life.
He enacted a permanent solution.
So while I'm always an advocate for mental health, I will always precursor every single one of my rebuttals as theoretical. So do I understand that some people do have mental, deficiencies or mental health issues that do cause them to do things that are unjust? I don't always think that, prison is the logical thing. As much as I want to say like I'm like strongly against the death penalty, they like I always tell you, it's premeditated regardless of what their mental health is. Premeditated means that you've had hours, days, weeks, years to think about what it is that you're about to do. That means you've had every chance to logically think about what it is that you're about to do, the outcome of what it is, and then how you're going to carry it out.
So you're saying somebody with mental health problems can't do that. They can't think about lead up to that. That's what you're telling me?
They can.
So what is your argument?
What do you mean with my argument?
So
you mean to tell me that? You mean to tell me that? And I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But what I'm gonna say is, what you mean to tell me is that because someone chose to neglect themselves, other people have to suffer because of it.
Neglect themselves as far as mental health?
Yeah.
Why is it neglecting themselves?
You don't think that they know that they have an issue? You don't think that people around them know?
Yeah, but that's not necessarily them neglecting themselves. Okay, people around them, yes, but they're not always mentally able to like, oh shit, I have schizophrenia, I need to stop this, or any other mental health issue. You know what I'm talking about? We're not just talking about depression. You know what I mean?
I know that.
Okay, so I mean, they're not always mentally capable of actually think, oh, I have this problem. People around them,
Are they
yes.
treated as normal people
By whom?
by society?
Yes.
There's an assumption that they can think logically. Then
That doesn't make it true, though. It's an assumption.
There's an assumption that that if there's an assumption that they can think logically, then that means that they've passed the necessary tests placed in by the school systems to deem them as someone that can think logically. And if there are any deficiencies, then the school system is going to catch it, and then the school system is going to put them in the necessary classes they need to be. And the school system is and should get them the necessary treatment as far as informed parents. And this is just theoretically of what I think. There's a lot of shoulds.
Should, yes.
But I don't think someone is going to coast through 12 years of school and not have that pointed out by somebody. I don't believe it. That means because
the mental health.
That's a wide term that you're talking about. Like,
you provided like schizophrenia and all that stuff. There's schizophrenia and all, like what examples you gave.
Mm-hmm.
That child is going to show multiple signs of that throughout. What is it? You go to school from 7 or 8 till 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm. That's
5 days a week.
Okay, yeah,
that's a full-time job.
Yeah, that's not always. That doesn't always mean that everybody they encounter is willing to help them or willing to.
I'm not saying that it's that they're willing to help them. I'm saying that it's there. It's people see it.
Yeah. Okay, I agree with that.
So if people see it, and if the necessary people see it, what I'm saying is,
necessary people.
As we all remember that when we're in the classroom, we're in there with the teacher from the time we get there to the time we leave, aside from lunch. So there is a known fact that a teacher is sitting there, sees the potential, precursors or whatever they might be, whatever we want to deem them as, and it's probably brought that to someone's attention.
Okay.
Because they have, because if you got to be to school at 9 o'clock and you there at 9:02, then they call in the crib saying such and such was tardy. So that the teacher is probably paying attention to child's behaviors as well. And then you also know that you have the parent-teacher conferences that you have to go to, or they're going to keep scheduling them in outside of school time. So there are multiple times to where the school system is designed to study the child and bring the deficiencies to the parent.
Okay, what about those times that doesn't always happen? The parents don't go to those teacher conferences, and those teachers aren't as motivated as...
That sounds like black parents, but black kids aren't walking around killing people.
That sounds like black parents.
That does sound like black parents. I can tell you a lot of the times, like through my time and throughout school, there were some black parents that were always working to where they did not have the time to make it to a parent-teacher conference, and if they did, it was shortened.
What about
I've seen it firsthand.
What about those rich white kids with their parents?
Damn well their mom is at school.
Not always. What if the mom is rich too? Has the job too?
Then the dad at school.
The dad is not there either.
Bruh.
The kid is going home by himself. We're just talking about random scenarios.
We are talking about random scenarios. But all I'm saying is that there were plenty of precursors there and plenty of people to acknowledge and see those.
Okay, I agree with that, but I'm just saying that that's not always the case. That there is one time where that person is going to slip through that loophole and end up with that mental health with no help.
So on the subject of mental health, in 1994...
Think of the Joker movie. I don't know if you guys saw that, but...
No. In 1994, the Federal Death Penalty Act, it outlawed the execution of people with mental retardation in terms of like Down syndrome and things like that.
When?
1994. So that's part of your mental health argument, right?
Okay. Part of it.
Part of it. And inside of the spectrum of mental health disorders, there's a wide range of cognitive abilities, right? Would you say?
Yeah.
So some people in that spectrum are fully aware of what they're doing. They may have skewed views and preconceived notions in ways in behaviors, but they still have the ability to think cognitively.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
No.
But so you're saying in that spectrum, not all the time.
No, not all the time.
But there are some in there, right?
Yeah, some. But I'm saying, just like him, there are some who sloop through that loophole and won't think like that. It could happen. You're making it seem like, oh, trust me, people with mental health problems definitely have the capacity, depending on the actual problem. Like,
no, my argument is that they're more capable than you think.
Huh?
there are more capable people who have mental health disorders than you think.
Okay.
Hey, look at the numbers of people walking around with depression all the time. It's pretty high. How many of those are acting
I
as
don't want to go into depression and
I don't
what
think
people actually
depression is
feel.
necessary. Like,
Is even a good example?
It's not a good example for this
Exactly.
particular argument. Like
Why
depression,
isn't
depression and anxiety. I feel like they're not good subjects for this argument, because there's a broad understanding of what depression and anxiety is, and I feel like it can constantly be debated and constantly be changed. There's one, understanding of what schizophrenia is, just like one understanding of what mental retardation is. But depression is one of those things to where, you can have, seasonal depression, you can have anxiety that's induced by certain situations or things like that. Whereas, schizophrenia and retardation, that's embedded in who you are. And I feel like your depression, that although it at times it's not always self-inflicted and self-induced, it's caused by external factors. I don't think it's one of those things that pushes you to harm others. I think depression and anxiety are one of those things to where it's more
Lack of wanting to do much or anything, basically.
and it's typically self-inflicted damage, to where you just are so tired of suffering internally to where you don't want to be here anymore.
See, the reason I bring it up is because it was also encompassed inside of mental health. That's the way it was posed, was it not?
It is.
Josh said, what about people with mental health issues?
Yeah, but that's only part of it.
It is, but I think we had to understand.
So we can't exclude it then if it's part.
Of course, but that's just the feeling of what depression is. It's not the feeling of you want to go out and kill people. It's just the feeling of you feel like you're useless to the world, like you don't want to do anything, like you don't have the energy to get up. That's what depression is.
I'm aware what depression is.
Okay, you making it seem like oh, I'm depressed. I'm gonna kill my next door neighbor because.
No, my point was that there is a wide spectrum of mental health disorders and conditions.
Of course, I'm with you.
Okay, that's it.
Oh, that's it.
That's it. And so you were encompassing saying, what about people with those issues as it pertains to the death penalty and holding them accountable for their actions, and then also punish them, not just because in your case you don't want to institute the death penalty at all for people who have killed 20 million people.
Okay. You can say this to 1 billion people.
I know, you don't care.
Okay, don't say. I'm not trying to defend Dylan Roof at all. By the way, I just want you guys to know that. Right?
No one says trying to defend him.
Okay, I was just letting the audience know. By the way, we do have a podcast. We are on the air. By the way.
Yeah,
but you guys didn't even say them time.
You don't care about the number of people. You still believe that it's unethical.
I answered it when we were going back and forth.
No, I'm saying the number of people is not a factor of mine. Yes, that's to answer your question. But you said you answered it when?
I answered it when we were going back and forth. I don't think we got a solid.
Wait, what did you say exactly?
I said I as much as I believe it does violate human rights, I think there are some exceptions.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a contingency with just about everything in life, and that is one of those things that do.
Okay.
Just like there's a contingency with free speech.
I can't say that I'm for it, like I'm an advocate, like death penalty or anything like that. But I do believe that there are instances where it does need to be enacted. So if you look at the crimes that constitute and can be punished by a penalty of death, you have crimes that are like genocide is one. Then you have crimes like what's the exact term?
Bring it to the micro level. No, bring it to the micro level.
Bring it to the micro level. No, it's 41 different crimes. I want to go through a few of them. So there's crimes where, let's say you interfere with an aircraft and cause the death of people. You can do the same thing with a train. You can mail out biochemicals. If it results in death, that's also grounds for the death penalty. Then you also have like explosive crimes, like the one that happened.
Boston Marathon one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the older one. The Unabomber, people like that. But then you also have first degree murder. So the one that I am a little bit back and forth on is first degree murder, because depending on the magnitude of it, there may be grounds for you to say maybe you can rehabilitate the person or something like that. But if you compare that person who happened to, with premeditated thought and the capacity to carry out and acted out one murder for a given thing, that could be a contained threat. Maybe that was the only thing they wanted. Maybe it was something where they felt like that person had hurt a relative of theirs, and they go out there and take justice into their own hands. Is that person really a threat after that? Possibly not. maybe you can rehabilitate that person. But someone who's taken the lives of 20,000 people, like I said, Joseph Stalin earlier, I don't believe that you can rehabilitate a person like that.
What if it's a person who creates genocide because of religion, because of to say 9/11 for an example? What about that? Can they not be rehabilitated because of if they're more informed?
At a certain
it's a bad example.
At a certain
Why
point,
you say that?
Because he was killed.
Who?
Bin Laden.
Okay, I see.
That's a bad
I was just talking about as far as like
someone
a
who did
religious
something
act,
like that.
a religious
You'd
act,
have
yeah.
to say like somebody that has murdered somebody and they're still alive somewhere right now.
Okay, I'm sure.
But at a certain point, once you act things out in the world, you can't stop them. So once you pull the trigger on a gun, you can't revoke that. You can't say, "Oh, my bad," or "There's no
Yeah, but
excuses
you
for it.
don't. But you don't believe they can be rehabilitated because their views change, and then like, oh wait, and they realize the wrong in their morality.
I think it's going too
Do
far.
you think that Huey P. Newton or Malcolm X could have been rehabilitated?
They didn't.
I'm saying, do you think like if they were to live their full lives and they would have like found themselves in a situation where they were facing life behind bars, do you think they could be rehabilitated? I know Malcolm X was rehabilitated, but I'm saying like once they get to that mind frame to where it's by any means necessary, do you think?
Okay, I'm still getting off the killing people argument, but I think it depends.
What my argument is like
talking about because of
when you have
religion?
someone who is so behind their beliefs to where nothing is going to change how they perceive things. Do you think that prison is really going to rehabilitate anyone? Like, do you think that? I don't think. I'll say so. Prison rehabilitated Malcolm X, but I don't think prison would have rehabilitated Malcolm X. It rehabilitated Malcolm Little, but it didn't. I don't think it would have rehabilitated Malcolm X. Just like I don't think prison would rehabilitate.
But would it? Okay. What if? I feel like it's a poor example. Malcolm X didn't kill people. We talking
I'm just
about.
saying. I'm not talking about killing people. I'm talking about the mindset.
Yeah, we talk about the mindset though, and then we're talking about the morality or realizing the morality afterwards, and then like, oh wait, maybe this religion or maybe this my viewpoint was wrong. That's what I'm saying.
They be killing people for trade though.
You said for trade.
For trade.
Okay, I still think that's
the point you're trying to prove. You're just saying the likelihood of changing someone's mindset that is deeply ingrained within them.
Because they're like the older they get, you can't teach a dog new tricks. Basically, what you're.
It's not necessarily that, just the age part. I think the fact that somebody has this belief that they deeply hold on to, and you're trying to impose a different belief system onto that person,
or make them feel sorry for what they've been doing.
It's not like they came up with the idea.
Yeah. It's
like me telling you, what you say is wrong, so I'm going to teach you this. There's going to be resentment along with that.
Okay.
Like all I'm saying is that like. I don't see the. I think the only way you can deter the argument of the death penalty is just having research done and then determining at what age do you deem someone set in their beliefs. Because it's understood that like somebody who's 18, as your argument has been, may not truly understand the full, understanding of their outcomes, but they know what they're doing.
Okay.
They know what they're doing, but their mind hasn't fully matured.
We're not even talking about mental health. Anything that has to. We're just talking about a regular person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're talking about
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
Because I mean, it's obvious that like someone who's 18. I'm not gonna say obvious because there are some 18-year-olds who are, headstrong and firmly believe what they want to be or what they want to believe in. But rehabilitating someone at 18 is going to give them the opportunity to, because they're probably going to spend longer in prison than they have as a free person.
Sure.
Whereas if someone is like 45, 50, 60, and they're like the dude in Las Vegas, the dude that was shooting the people at Las Vegas, if he has been radicalized to the point to where he's committed heinous acts like that, there is no rehabilitation. Because if there's rehabilitation, then that's just him realizing that him saying sorry for his actions is potential for him to get a lighter sentence or for him to stay alive and just die in jail. That's not him actually repenting for what he's done. Whereas somebody who's younger goes through the system, realize that the people that they've killed in a church or at a mall or wherever it may be, doesn't have shit on the people who are already within the the prison system. Like they don't have shit on them, because at this point you go into prison and I mean you can get punked off the strength of you just being in there and your nuts not dropping yet. Like you gonna get punked off of stuff like that. So there you're gonna get Reformation beaten into you whether you want to or not when you young and you done some dumb shit. Whereas when you older, I mean you set in your way.
Yeah.
So I think it could be a study done on that. Like when is it determined that and I know a lot of older adults are like opening themselves up to being more open-minded. But I also know a lot of closed-minded adults who everything they learn growing up is the letter of the law. Like there's no seeking change. Like they kind of just are comfortable in with where they're at as people and as persons. So I think that would be an interesting like study.
Yeah.
I just think at a certain point, the severity or magnitude of their actions, it revokes their right to human life. Because like you taking 20 million, to me that's indicative of a lot of things, but first and foremost it's something that's irreparable.
Okay, you heard it here, folks.
So what is your answer? Because I think
I answered several times in segments.
Did you ever hear like a set?
Not actual.
I do believe it's justifiable.
Okay.
In certain instances, and then I'm not running through it again.
Do you think it violates human rights?
Does it violate human rights?
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say so.
Why?
Because it's only acted out when, in those specific instances we just listed off.
You like they.
And at that point, I said there is a forfeiture of your human rights when you choose to take someone else's life under those circumstances.
Surrender them.
Like you surrendered their life involuntarily, just like that.
Surrendered their life. What the? All right, we're gonna surrender your life. All right. What's your last meal? You think they should still get a last meal?
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna debate logistics with you.
It's like, nah,
you want yams with that?
Fuck up. You killed too many people. Okay. Alrighty then. Anybody else got anything to say about this discussion? Pretty good, right? All right. If nobody has anything else to say, we want to wrap up the discussion. What do you guys think, though? Is the death penalty justifiable or not since it violates human rights? Comment below. Let us know, okay? But we do have album of the week. Do you have?
No, I think you said you was gonna do that.
I said I was gonna do it. Oh, I think I did say that. That's crazy. All right. It's just an honor. I don't know.
Get this man out of here. What's the album of the week, Josh?
The album of the week is Schoolboy Q, Crash Talk. It's a really solid project. It came out earlier in 2019. I believe in March. I believe it came out right before I went to California. But it's really good. I mean, I really haven't heard a Schoolboy Q album that's bad, to be honest with you. So check it out.
Okay.
Yeah. Crash Talk.
Okay.
Anything else you guys got to say? All right. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.